So for reasons that will become abundantly clear as I upload my next couple of videos, I've been really interested in the idea of introducing someone to anime, and that means one of the things that you have to do as someone who is a mentor to a new anime fan is giving them some starter anime. Now, for the uninitiated, starter anime are anime that aren't necessarily the best anime per se, but they are the best anime at easing someone into the complicated and often wacky medium that is anime. These are the anime that show a person what anime can be when it comes correct, but also hide some of the baggage that anime has, and we as anime fans have just kind of accepted or even liked in our own little way. I think everyone here knows what I'm talking about. The fan service, the gag comedy, the repetition of tropes, etc., etc. However, for whatever reason, many fans struggle with actually showing and presenting a starter anime, which turns a lot of newer fans off. I mean, Michael B. Jordan was just absurdly bad at answering this question when asked. So I figured, why not make a list about it? So here are the top 5 best starter anime, but before we get into it, like, share, and subscribe. Alright, so as an honorable mention, I'm gonna say Avatar: The Last Airbender.
What?
I know, it's technically quote unquote not an anime, and that's why it's an honorable mention, but Avatar: The Last Airbender is so anime-esque, and the parallels are so apparent that I think showing someone this is akin to showing someone what anime can be when it brings its A game. I wouldn't necessarily call it a starter anime, but I would call it a primer show for anime. And by the way, I would say this is also the case for Castlevania as well, but I don't want to start an argument this early in the video. So moving on to number 5, Death Note. So when it comes to Death Note, I do think the premise of it is something wacky that you would only see in anime, and the characters play some 4D chess with each other, yet it still feels like a show anyone can watch and be hooked. It is also a 37 episode anime, so it's not very long. It does lack a little bit in the animation department in comparison to the other anime you're going to see on the list, but its soundtrack as well as its pacing and writing more than make up for its average animation. In fact, the only reason why it's not higher in my top 5 is not necessarily due to the animation, but due to the fact that it does suffer from the dreaded anime dropping quality issue that many people bring up is a problem in anime. After a certain point in Death Note, its smart and calculated story becomes disorganized and convoluted. Plus, while it's not full of any glaring baggage issues, it's not perfect in that department either. Still, even in spite that, the writing more than makes up for a lot of its deficiencies, and I do think that Death Note is a show that you can definitely recommend. Number 4, Afro Samurai. So Afro Samurai is very interesting, and it's a fun tale about a samurai warrior named Afro, who in a story of revenge and redemption seeks out the one who wears the number 1 headband. He does this after finally obtaining the number 2 headband. Now, there are a ton of reasons why this is an excellent starter anime, not least of which is that mangaka Takashi Okazaki has gone on record to say that the main character Afro was inspired by real-life historical figure Yasuke, and that is something that feels very current to today, given that the new Assassin's Creed game features Yasuke as a playable character. But in terms of actual anime quality, it is the real deal. The story is full of depth, the animation for 2007 standards was top notch, the fight scenes are fun, the music was done by RZA, so you know it slaps, and the full Afro Samurai story is only 5 episodes and a movie sequel. So yeah, it's a good starter anime that doesn't take a whole lot of commitment. Also, gotta say this, it is another one of those watch the dub animes, as they got Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, the Samuel L. Jackson to play a role here. My point is this, I think if you have a friend who's really into the good old-fashioned fighting, but doesn't want to spend 1,000 episodes to watch an anime, then get him to look into this one. Number 3, Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Now, I'll tell you right now, the drawback of this is that it's based off of the video game Cyberpunk 2077, And the anime was heavily supervised by CD Projekt Red, which is a Polish video game developer. Plus, it was basically speaking to a lot of the Western world's issues through the lens of the Western world. As a result, it does feel a little bit disconnected from the norms of anime in a way, but that's also one of the reasons it's on this list. So it's a catch-22. I believe it serves as a great liaison to get people who are really into other nerd properties to get ingratiated with this medium. Other reasons for this inclusion on this list is that 1, it is actually legitimately a good anime, and 2, it was animated by Studio Trigger, which is one of the premier anime studios. So a new anime fan seeing Trigger work at their best can really inspire more folks to watch anime. A very aesthetically pleasing color palette art style wise, and a very small commitment at only 10 episodes, your nerdy but newbie anime fan will love this one. Number 2, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, I think because most 2000s male anime fans started with something in and around the big 3, there is a temptation to introduce a new fan to one of those animes when it may not be for them, and who can blame them? With often a very huge episode commitment, fan service up the wazoo, and abundance of filler episodes and other issues, you might want to break out the Naruto or One Piece tapes at a different time in your friends or loved ones' anime journey. But if you do have your heart set on giving them a shonen to watch, then I might present to you Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, to be honest, I don't think you could go wrong with either the OG Fullmetal Alchemist, which was released in 2003, or the Brotherhood version, which was released in 2009, but Brotherhood is considered the more superior version by most experts, and it was preserved better because it's picked up on Crunchyroll, whereas the 2003 version has just been kind of lost to history. So yeah, Brotherhood, that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. Now, there are a ton of reasons for it to be your starter anime besides that. 1, it is a really good sweet spot anime of 64 episodes where it's long enough to scratch that itch we as humans have to want to grind through something, but not too long where it feels impossible. 2, it is a shockingly pretty anime. 3, the characters are all well thought out, well planned, and well executed. 4, it treats its female characters with some respect. And 5, the interior messaging of the show is just amazing. It is such a well executed manga and by extension anime. I think Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is anime at its best while also still being a typical anime. And that's why it's so close to being number 1 on this list. If not for number 1, Your Lie in April. Now, I'm not going to hold you. Depending on my mood, Your Lie in April and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood are interchangeable as 1 and 2 when it comes to the best starter anime. There are also 2 top 10 to top 15 animes of all time, with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood obviously being the better of the 2, but Your Lie in April is definitely up there as well. But that's the thing. Even though Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is better, there are a couple reasons why at this moment I would probably value Your Lie in April more as a starter anime. The reasons are this. Well, 1, when invested, you are going to get a more emotional story out of Your Lie in April. And 2, I think it's a better introduction to the romantic shonen genre than Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is to the introduction of an action shonen. See, in the West, romance shows or films are automatically thought of as, quote, a female thing to like. Unless it's some trashy rom-com where the guy is doing a lot of jokes to get the girl. That's usually how it goes. Now, that is starting to change a bit. However, it is overwhelmingly still the case. Now, in Japan, when it comes to anime, there are specific romance shows that are still romance at heart, targeted to men, and for lack of a better term, catch men slipping. I think Your Lie in April is the anime that will get your guy friend to be into romance shonen. And that's a hard thing to do because oftentimes new anime fans who are male tend to steer clear of that genre. But at 22 episodes, Your Lie in April is definitely something that your friend can give a try without putting that much of a commitment. I know I finished in like 3 days, so it's an anime that can be started and finished very quickly. Now, once again, do I think it's better than Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood? No, not really. But I think it is a premier anime when it comes to the romance shonen genre, and it's got a lot to offer. So that's the list, everyone. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on other starter animes you would recommend to your friend, or starter animes you've recommended to your friend and have worked in terms of getting them into anime. My name's Michael. I do this every week. I'll come up with another video. And until next time, stay safe. It's a scary world out there.